Get on my head. Get on my head.
So today I am test riding the brand new 2021 Vauxhall Mokka E. Loads of gadgets as you'd expect in an electric car. I'm probably more overwhelmed, let's say, with this one compared to the ID3. The whole setup of it seemed quite user friendly. Seemed like, you know, if you sat in it for half an hour and started pressing and playing with the buttons, you'd probably be able to figure out quite a lot quite quickly. Now in this, again, buttons everywhere, and I'll show you around the interior very shortly, but it looks like it's gonna take me a while to actually figure out everything it does. So far though, I'm really impressed with it. Drives really nice, very similar to the ID3. It's an automatic. It only has the one gear with it being electric, so it's nice and smooth. It's bizarre, if you've never driven an electric car before, you'll see when you put your foot on the gas pedal, the power just keeps coming and there's no jerkiness, there's no gear changes, there's nothing like that. So it's just unbelievably smooth. So that's something I'm really enjoying with these electric car tests that I've been doing. So going to get outside, give you a quick look around the car first of all, and excuse the colour because you're going to see shortly it's a bright one. Stay tuned guys, and if you've not done it already, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Okay, there she is in all of her bright green glory. For me, I think this is a nicer looking car than the ID3. I think if you look around the front as well, I think the front end's quite stylish. Again, I'm not sold on the colour, but the actual look of the car itself is really nice. And I think those wheels, those alloy wheels, are so much nicer than the ID3. The ID3 for me looks a bit futuristic on the wheels, but it just looks like naff wheel trims, where these look like really nice alloy wheels. So I do like that. You can see as soon as the door locked, which it did automatically because it is keyless, as soon as it did, wing mirrors went straight in. You can see as soon as I get close to it, they come out. So I'll just step back slightly. You'll see just a little bit of distance from the car, like I am now. It's locked itself, so I am probably about 2 meters away from the car and it's automatically just locked up for me. Again, something the ID3 didn't do. Whether that was just the model I was in, who knows, but yeah, this one does it. So having an actual look round the car, the actual style of it is brilliant. I think if it was in a different colour and didn't have the Vauxhall signage all over it, I think we've got a very nice looking car. And for the size of it, again, very impressive. So again, as soon as I get within that 2 meter, it unlocks for me. Quality inside is there. I think it's really nice. I think this plush leather interior is really comfortable, but what I have noticed is the actual legroom in the back is significantly different to the ID3. Like you can see there, as said previously, I'm not a big lad. I'm 5'8" with my high heels on, so for me that's not a lot of leg room. If you're sat behind me, if you're 6 foot, there's going to be no leg room for anybody sat in this seat, but there's loads of room in the front, and there's certainly enough room if you want the kids in the back. And looking at the seats, they are set up for car seats to be put straight in with the ISOFIX, and we do have the USB chargers in the back for the mobile phones, which I like. Just gonna take you into the front. I'll show you some of the instrument panels at the front, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to being a bit complex, let's say. But I mean, for me, whilst it's going to take me a while to get used to all the stuff in here, I think if this was mine, I'd love it, because generally I love playing with buttons, pressing things, having a look at what we've actually got. Let me switch it on and then I'll give you an idea as to when I say there's a lot of buttons, you'll get the drift. So we do have a start button down here. We've got an engine start button. So press the brake, press the button, everything kicks into life. So this is the view I've got. Now this is the downside for me. Now my eyes are about here. So when I'm looking at the main screen, which is this one down there, I can't see the speedo. I've got to kind of look down a bit to see the speedo, or tilt my head down to see the speedo. Now I don't know whether this is something that can be changed or moved around with a display. I don't know. I would suggest not. And looking at the steering wheel and the steering column itself, it doesn't look like it actually moves up or down. So I think looking at this is I don't know, something I'd have to try and get used to. But the actual quality of this screen here, I think is amazing, because it actually has like a shaded map behind. So when you're driving down the streets, the street name comes up, and yeah, it's just like a very greyed out sat nav, which I think is a really, really nice look. And then we've obviously got over here, we have similar to a petrol, where you're changing gear, it tells you to go up and down gears, etc. So this one tells you when you're putting your foot down on the oh, I can't even call it the gas pedal, the go pedal. When you put your foot down on that, if you're putting it on gently, you're driving in eco mode. If you're flooring it, you're going in the high band on the power. And then when you're slowing down, this does have a mode where you can do the regen for the battery, so you can switch it on or off. If it's on, what happens is every time you come off the go pedal, the engine starts to regenerate power back to the battery, which is good. It also does that when you brake it as well, when you put the brake on, so that's good for getting some battery life back in. I'm told that on a full charge it does 210 miles there or thereabouts. That being said, it's all dependent on the style of driving that you do and the type of driving that you are doing. So for instance, if you're going on the motorway or fast roads, if you're doing the 50, 60, 70 mile an hour, expect those miles to come down and the range will vary. Again, speaking to somebody who's got one of these, they expect to get around 150 miles off a full charge, but they do a lot of motorway driving, so that's the reason it comes down significantly. If you just stick into your 30 mile an hour roads, then the likelihood is you will get over 200. We'll say that's if you just stick into those slower roads. Also, you've got to take into account, like with this one, and again, we've got a nice hot sunny day. We are currently at 31. Who'd have thought it in England? But if you've got the air conditioning on, again, that can affect your battery and your range, but that's just needs must for me. It's too hot not to have it on. So you've got loads and loads of options here. So you've got your audio, you've got your sat nav, you've got your phone connectivity, which I've not got this set up. You have got fancy e-button. So this is just, again, it's just showing some statistics. I'm guessing when you're moving, it gives you more details as to how much power's going to the engine, etc. All that fancy malarkey. Then we've got the phone connectivity, so it does have Apple CarPlay, it does have Android Auto as well, so you've got those things that you can have a play with. And then you've also got some vehicle settings, so you can have blind spot monitoring on. It's got traction control. You can mess with the inflation of the tires, and you can do vehicle checks. And as you can see, as well as these buttons, this whole panel is touchscreen, so you can kind of change with the headlights, the actual comfort. So you're going to be playing with the suspension and the safety. Yeah, so we've got braking, we've got we'll have like a speed limiter. It also has traffic sign recognition and driver attention warning, so that is if you're going over your white lines, getting too close to the cars in front, all that stuff, which I think's brill. Obviously down here we've got the controls for the air conditioning, the heated seats, the actual driver modes as well. So there are 3 driver modes on this car. So we have got Eco, which is what it is. It's the most economical way to drive. It will give the engine less power. Then we've got Normal, which is just everyday driving. Again, a little bit more power than Eco. And then we've got Sport, which gives you all the power. Now I'm told there's not a massive difference between Eco to Sport, to be fair, but those modes are available. I'm just keeping it in Normal for now. And you can see there we have got 94% battery, and the current range is showing as 192. And then steering wheel, loads of buttons on the steering wheel. I've not got this car long enough to actually play with all these buttons. You've got your lane assist, you've got adaptive cruise control, so you can keep at a safe distance from cars in front of you. And you've got some controls here for your volume, your phone, all that stuff. And we do have electric windows front and back. The overall finish of this car is really nice, and I am impressed with it. It drives really nice. Yeah, so that's a bit of a look round the Mokka E. Now, I'm told the Vauxhall Mokka E, which uses the same battery, it has the same stats, the same figures really, as far as the the knots. Get me words out. So the 0 to 60 with the Corsa is exactly the same as the Mokka E. Also, the battery range is the same, so they both have the range of 210 miles, but again, expect that to be slightly lower depending on the type of roads you're going on. And that's something that surprises me, because the Mokka E is a bit bigger, so even though it's bigger, it doesn't actually affect the range. Apparently they both use the same battery and motor, etc., so they must be a similar weight, albeit this is slightly bigger. Yeah, that's about it for the Mokka E. I will put some facts and figures on again at the end, showing you prices. And for those that are interested in the battery size, the motor that's involved, all that stuff, I'll put some facts and figures at the end, including the prices. It's one of the cars that I wanted to check because it's got the range of over 200 miles, which I think is quite good. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get me some more followers, please. Yeah. See you soon, guys. Toodles.
You said